Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody, veterans, on the 11th hour and the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, the warfare activity ceased by an armistice, which was an agreement to quit fighting. So let's stand during the posting of the colors, remain standing during the Star-Spangled Banner, and remain standing until the kindergarten retreats from saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So let's all stand and watch the pledging of the posting of the colors. Let's give the kindergarten a hand for the project. This is their initial public performance, I believe. We will now be followed here by the kindergarten and third grade of Oh I Love America with the teachers Mrs. Kendra Olson and Mrs. Courtney Deffenbaugh as their advisors. So as they come in, let's give them a little applause too. Let's be seated, please.
Okay, now if we can have all veterans that are here, please stand up. The kindergartners have a little gift for you. Thank you for your service.
while they're finishing that up and passing those out, let's give them a hand for kind of a talented group. You know, World War I was, there was settlement in Europe, a lot of problems. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was one of the great political units at that time. And Archduke of Austria was assassinated on June of 1914, and that pretty well precipitated the war that took place afterwards. Now, the war took place in Europe, and the countries, the United States wasn't in it until about 1916 or so, and they fought in it until 1918 when the armistice was signed. But the armistice really wasn't the end of the conflict in a way. There was a lot of argument about different things, but a treaty was signed in 1919 called the Treaty of Versailles. And that Treaty of Versailles had articles in it that made Germany pay a lot of reparations and money paid for losses and different things, and they said it might have even helped precipitate World War II because of what was in there. But this time now, when we got everybody kind of seated here, let's have those veterans stand again. And let's first of all, wait a minute, I'm going to have the Army people stand. And we do have there's the Army people. All the Army. I see we have one Army group, a guy from California here today. He's a resident artist assistant here this week. Okay, and then we'll have the Navy. I know we got some Navy people here. Navy, any Air Force? We did have at one time a Coast Guard person here, but I don't think there's anybody. Is there a Coast Guard person here? What about any, our young people, do we have some National Guard people here? And one back there. Anybody back over here? Let's give all those veterans a hand. And if you see them later around here, you thank them for their service to our country. Now we're going to have our KHS band under the direction of Mrs. Bovetta with the American Pride, and that will be followed by a choir selection with accompanied directed by Mrs. Becca Rasmussen and accompanied by Eileen Krova. So let's enjoy these musical selections. choir now assembled. Isn't it good to see the talents that we have in this community? Let's give another hand for all those people that were born in this community. I'm going to introduce our guest speaker, but before I do, I will remind after he speaks, we will have the reposting of the colors, followed by taps, and then the repeat of the colors by the Legion Post 130 group. And when we have the treat of the colors and the taps, please remain standing until those are all over and we will be concluded for the day. And I mentioned before, if you would, please thank a veteran, if you know one, for their service to our country. Our guest speaker was raised in Kimball, graduated high school in 1989, and after his graduation, he went to college at Mount Hardy, where he received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Business Administration. He then joined the Army was an infantryman, and he worked with a presidential escort before he went to officer training school and became an officer in the Army. And he has since During that time, he was worked with missile defense, when he went to 30 countries throughout the world, a lot of different places, and he retired this last June after 28 years of service to our country. He lives now near Omaha. I don't know what your suburb. Gretna. And he's joined here today by his wife Terry, who he's been married to for 25 years. They have 3 children, and one who is going to be a future Army. The colonel said that you're going to the Army. Yeah, we didn't tell him. So with that, let's give our alumni and serviceman and Colonel Phil, retired Phil.
So I'm honored to be here today. Mr. Dykstra has been pretty persistent, has asked me for a number of years to come back, and this was my first opportunity to do that. As Mr. Woodраska said, I graduated from here a long time ago. I sat where you're sitting, but back then this was the new gym, and we still had an old gym. I was surprised to hear we got rid of the old gym, but I don't come back often enough. Kimball has always been home to me and will always be home. Again, I sat right where you did, and it doesn't seem like that long ago. It was 35 years ago if you are a math major and you do 1989. It was 35 years ago, but it doesn't seem like that long ago. I had a chance to talk to a few students yesterday to get an idea of what I should say and maybe not say. And I got some interesting advice. I was told, don't say ain't, or Miss Kay is going to come down here and correct my English. So I will do my best. Doris Anchemella was my English teacher, and I would not want to embarrass her. The other comment I got was, don't be boring. I will try my best at that as well. I asked how long I should talk. Somebody told me at least 30 minutes. And then somebody else told me don't talk any more than 10 minutes or nobody's going to pay any attention. So Vincent, I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to stick to about 10 minutes. I also know that the 5th grade has a spelling test today, and that the high schoolers have got some leaf raking to do, and so I'll try to make this quick. Harry, where are you at? You keep me on time? All right, start the timer, Harry. I want to talk about service today. I don't want to talk so much about me. I'll answer questions at the end if you have questions, but I want this to be participatory. Where's Emma? You be able to spell that word? No? I want to ask you questions so that this is a little more interactive and not so boring. But I want to talk about service, and I want to talk about 3 things. Who serves, what do they do, and why do they do it? So, who can tell me the definition of a veteran? Where's the kindergarten class at? Well, okay, who can tell me the definition of a veteran? What is a veteran? You had your hand up. What's a veteran? That's close. So he said somebody who works in the Army but doesn't work there anymore. Works in the Navy, Army, or National Guard. What do you think? Yeah, something. So keep it simple. Go ahead. Protect the citizens, civilians of the United States. We're going to get to that part. I'm looking for a key word, and I've said it a couple of times. I said it at the very beginning here that I wanted to talk about what. So what is a veteran is what? A soldier. Could be a soldier. Protects our country. I'm going to give you an answer here in a second. Go ahead. protects us. Go ahead. Perfect. Here, I got something for you. I'm going to make this participatory, but we hand that to him. Someone who serves in the armed forces. So that key word is what? Service, right? So a veteran is someone who has served or is currently serving in the military, right? It can be any one of the services. Anybody know who the person on the screen is? George Washington. That's my favorite picture of George Washington. It's called Prayer at Valley Forge. Was George Washington a veteran? Yes? Good answer. General George Washington was a veteran. And so those who fought with George Washington and were the founding fathers, mothers of our country, they established our country, fought for our freedom from England, right? And we now have those rights and liberties because of everything that they did almost 250 years ago. So I'm going to use 3 presidents in this to kind of help me tell the story, and I thought that was appropriate since many of us just exercised one of our key rights, which was to vote just a couple of days ago. Okay, so a veteran is someone who serves or has served in the military. What does that mean to serve? What do they do? I'm going to come. You guys have all the answers. Somebody down here. What does it mean to serve? These have been in the military. So just kind of in general, what does that mean to serve? To do something, you fill in the rest for our country, that's specific. I'll take that. So, here. Not money, we're going to talk about this at the end. So someone who serves does something a veteran does for our country. More generally, someone who serves, they do something for others. I was going to say next slide, but I guess that's on me. Who's this guy? John F. Kennedy. It's on the slide. John F. Kennedy says, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." That is all about service. Doing something for others. What is that something? What do veterans do? What is the something? We've talked about it here a little bit. Some people have already mentioned it. A couple of key things. What's the something? What do veterans do? Protect us. That's good. What else? Serve our country. Yep. I've kind of talked about it a little bit. All these guys down here have, over here. They fight for our country. Right, so I would say, like, protect our rights and our freedoms. That's a good one. We'll talk about this at the end. Okay, so a veteran, someone who serves their country in the military. Service means you're doing something for others, and that something can be, we said a couple of different things. Defend our country, protect our rights and our freedoms, fighting for democracy. So they do something, service is doing something for others. Who are the others? Who are the others that we're talking about? The citizens of our country. Who would that be? Who? The people. Us, right? You. Who said citizens of our country? So veterans serve their country in the military. Service means that you're doing something for others. The something is defending our freedoms, protecting our way of life. And for who? For us. Veterans serve you, our country. They serve all of us, or they have in the past. Service is what John F. Kennedy was talking about when he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So in each of the services, they have what's called a creed. Harry, where am I out of time? 5 minutes, perfect. Each of the services has a creed. A creed just means that something you believe in. So I took a little bit from each one of the creeds, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Army. I want to read just a little bit of each one of those. So the Navy says, I proudly serve my country to defend freedom and democracy around the world. That's what we just talked about, right? Serving others in the military, defending our freedoms. The Air Force Creed says, I am my nation's sword and shield. I defend my country with my life. The Marines, part of their creed says, defenders of my country. And then my favorite one, because I'm in the Army, or was, the Army Creed says, I serve the people of the United States. I'm a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. That's all about service, protecting our rights, our values, and our country. So we talked about who veterans are, what they do, they serve. What was the last thing? Why? Who's this guy? Ronald Reagan. I think it's on the slide. It is, but it's in cursive, and you don't teach cursive anymore, right? I stand corrected. And I'm impressed. I print everything. Ronald Reagan. So why do veterans serve? You probably can't read that, so I'll read it for you. Maybe you can read it. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. That's a big word. That's like a 5th grade spelling word. Emma, it's not on your list, though, is it? Never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Why do veterans serve? One. Lots of reasons veterans serve. Somebody over here. Spider-Man. Why do veterans serve? So war breaking out, they can keep everyone else safe. Just give me some basic reasons. Like, if you were considering serving in the military, why would you do that?
Do what they think is right.
Do what they think is right. Anybody else? Fight for our community. Huh? Protect us? Yep. I skipped the band completely. I'm so sorry. What do you think? Why do veterans serve? Protect our freedom, our rights, and our country. That's a pretty good summary. There you go. What else? That's a very practical one. To pay for college. To keep us safe. And what? And serve for our country. Any other practical reasons? I'll tell you why I did it in just a minute. Yep, protect our country. Because they care about America. A passion for helping others. That's a good one. Self-sacrifice. Their parents served. How many of you, your parents served, or you know somebody in your family that served? Certainly not the entire class over there. Really? You have somebody that you know your parents served or somebody in your family that served. That's a lot of hands. That's a lot of hands. So I wrote a few things down, and you hit on a lot of them. So why do people serve in the military? Love of country, patriotism, sense of duty, adventure, travel, job training, pay for college, a family member served. That's a big one. Good benefits, leadership training. So I'll give you like 3 of the reasons that I chose to serve. So I graduated from high school, I went to college, I worked for a couple of years. I didn't join the military until I was 25. But I'd always thought about it. When I was in 5th grade, all the way through high school, I joined because I had a family member that served. My dad served in the Army, and because I wanted to serve my country. Why did I wait so long? Don't know, but it worked out. I served for 28 years. One of the reasons that I finally went in was because why do guys do a lot of things? My girlfriend at the time was going into the military. Now my wife. She was going to airborne school. She was going to jump out of planes. I'm like, well, that sounds pretty cool. That's the adventure part. And she did, and then later I got to do that. As Mr. Woodruska said, most of my time was spent in missile defense. I worked with the Patriot missile system, which shoots down other missiles. I served in a lot of different countries. But I was honored to do it every single day. And it all came back to, and everybody that I knew in the military joined for all of these reasons. All those are good reasons, but everybody at the core wanted to serve their country, wanted to defend freedom, wanted to protect others, and that's all of us. And so that's really what we celebrate here today. And we need to continue to do that. 25% of my class served in the military in some capacity. So I'll end with kind of what is on the slide here from Ronald Reagan. So on Veterans Day, it's a day to pause and say thank you to those who have served our country and the American people, defended our country, our freedoms that George Washington and all of those that went before us have fought so hard for. We need to continue to do it because it's a little counterintuitive, but freedom is not free. We need to continue to defend it so that we can hand it on to the next generation. So either you do that or support those who do, and that's the reason that we celebrate Veterans Day every year. Gary, we're right on time. 2 minutes left? Okay. I can turn this over to Harry and but does anybody have any questions of me? Or you want to get back to class? You got to rake leaves. 5th grade's got a spelling test. All right. Oh, what are the coins for? So somebody with better eyesight than me, who got a coin? All right, read what's on the what's the front of the coin say? Honor, courage, sacrifice, integrity, loyalty, duty, service. Those on the back of the coin. That was one big part. Thank you for your service. So you can keep those coins, or what I would ask you to do is find a veteran and thank them for their service. I wouldn't say I didn't like it when people thanked me. It was just a little awkward because I didn't do it for that reason. I did it for the reasons that I said. I was privileged to serve for as long as I did. And I was honored and very blessed that I had the support from all of you and the people in the United States. That's not always been the case in our country. So I would ask that you continue to support. Maybe that's thanking a veteran. If you've got a coin, keep it if you want, but I would ask that you find a veteran in your family or someone that you meet and give them that coin, or at least remember what they did for our country and maybe thank them for their service. Good question, thanks. I would have forgotten. Anybody else got a question?
What was your favorite country that you visited?
Germany. Had good beer. I love Germany. Germany's a lot like the U.S., but they don't have the freedoms that we have. So I think 33 countries I've visited. There is no place like the United States. Nowhere that I have been. We are very blessed and sometimes take for granted what we have here. So these days, like Veterans Day, it's a good time to reflect on those freedoms that we have, that so many people have fought for and protected throughout the years. A lot of good things about Germany. It's a beautiful country. Wayne? Some country in the Middle East. So the question was, what was the country that had the least freedoms that you went to? I would say the countries in the Middle East. So women can't drive. There's a lot of they have a king. They don't have the rights and the freedoms that we have. And so every time I visited one of those countries, you're just very thankful for where you came from and where you grew up. They don't have the military that we do either. There are a lot of countries that buy our stuff. I work with the Patriot missile system. We sell that to a lot of different countries. They buy our equipment. They copy our training. But they aren't anywhere close to our military. Because of what I've already said. Because our military is fighting for you. For this right here. For the freedoms that we have. For those that have gone before us. And for those next generation that are going to come after us. And those other countries, they may have some of that. But they don't have it at the core. And so they never get to the level that we are. They use our same stuff. They copy the way that we do it, but they don't come close. The band. Keep it going, man. Yes, ma'am. If I were to go somewhere again, where would I go? Germany. Switzerland was good. There's probably not too many countries I wouldn't go back to. There were some in the Middle East that I wouldn't be in a hurry to go. I wouldn't go back to Iraq. They all had good things about them. But again, I'll tell you, they are not what we have here. We are exceptionally blessed. The biggest country? Saudi Arabia is a big country. Got a lot of desert. There's a lot of cool things in Saudi Arabia too. That's probably the biggest country that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't think I earned all the badges. I stayed in a long time. So the wings are from jumping out of airplanes, going to airport school, and then the other ones. The military is still one of those places where, much like you all learn here, I'm pretty sure, because I sat where you did, that hard work still pays off. If you work hard, I came in the Army as a private, and I left 28 years later as a colonel. Well, that's because of what I learned here, and because if you work hard, you can still move up the ranks in the military. So not so much of a joke, how did I earn all these? Stay in a long time and work hard. Those kind of things happen. Trump shirt. stand up and fight for freedom. That's what our veterans do. You have a question? Never give up. I will never quit. I will never accept defeat. That is part of the Army creed. Never give up. Where did I learn to never give up? Where do you think I learned that? Right here. How many people are in the Army? That's a great question. Yikes. Somebody has to Google that. I probably should know, but I don't. 600,000 maybe? Something like that. 3,000, it's more than 3,000, it's less than 1 million. One more question over here. Harry, are you still keeping time? Am I like it 20 minutes? 15 minutes? I'll take a couple more. Up over here. How many badges? I don't know. How many badges do I have? I don't know. Count them? I think it's like 15. If you stick around for a long time, that happens. Somebody else. I've already asked you, right here. My favorite thing about Germany, I think I've answered that too. It was a beautiful country. They've got a good military. I enjoyed working with them. Their military is really good. Not as good as us. But they're really good. Beautiful country. And they have good food, nice people. I'm going to move down. Anybody? We're going to probably wrap this up, or Harry's going to come down here.
Have you ever drove a tank?
Have I ever driven a tank? Harry has asked me that question more than once. The answer is no. I've never driven a tank. My wife drove a tank simulator one time. The worst country? But yeah, one of the countries in the Middle East, just because it's hot, it's dry, there's sand in everything. Sand gets into your food and your weapons. Probably Iraq. Sure. You're a part of America? This right here, coming home. So I knew that's where my family was at. And the freedoms that we have, there's just... All right, hold on. There was a lot of them. I've only been to 30, and I don't know how many countries there are. There's a whole bunch. I've never been to Africa, so all the countries in Africa. There's a lot of countries in Europe I haven't been to. Any more questions from the band? Am I neglecting the band? Okay, we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate the participation. It's truly an honor for me to be here. Took me a couple of years, thanks to Mr. Dykstra for continuing to be persistent and invite me to come back. If you get a chance, thank a veteran. Don't do it for me. Do it for all those who maybe didn't get thanked, and for all that you know that they do. And hopefully this wasn't too boring, and that you maybe learned a little bit about what a veteran is, what do veterans do, and why do they do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel. And if we learned one word from his talk today, what would be the one 7-letter word that he really brought out? Let's hear it again. There we go. And thank a veteran today. With that, we're going to have the posting of the colors followed by tabs, and we could all remain standing during the time. And when tabs is over, we are choosing to resume our spelling test. race, and whatever goes on. Thank you for coming.
Right shoulder up. Forward up. Squad, hold. Left face. Present arms. Order, arms. Right shoulder, arms. Color guard, retreat, colors. Assemble.